Are you part of a watershed? I think the easiest way to answer that question is to look at a map. So this is a Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, map of Texas. And say you live in Dallas, Texas, and you want to know if you're part of a watershed. Well, one of the ways to do that is to add a layer. So this is the Texas River Basins. If I add that layer to the map, you can see that this symbolizes all of the Texas River Basins. So here would be the Rio Grande River Basin, which runs outside of the limits of Texas. Here's the Brazos River Basin, which really goes from one end of Texas to the other. And then here's the Trinity River Basin, which is where Dallas and Houston are both located. So as a citizen of Dallas, you would be part of the Trinity River watershed. A basin is just another word for the entire river, as far as a watershed is concerned. So what is a watershed? A watershed is another word for catchment. And a catchment is essentially all of the water that flows within a designated zone. And all of the water in here will be flowing into the Trinity as its major tributary to head down into the Gulf. So all of the rivers head down into the Gulf. The catchment is going to be all of the water that flows to that major river to head then down to the Gulf. So every single one of them is continuous. They're connected to each other. So there's no part of this that is not part of a watershed. But if you want to look a little bit more closely, you can add something called HUCs. So these are hydrologic unit codes. And this is a HUC 8. So it's just a designation of size. And if I add the HUC 8s in, you can see that these are sub-basins. So they're smaller than the overall river basin. And it's going to take, here's our Brazos, here's our Trinity. This entire Trinity River Basin is now broken up into multiple sub-basins. It can help us categorize watersheds by making them smaller. You can even go smaller. You can do HUC 10s, and you can even do HUC 12s. And if you look at how small a HUC 12 looks on this map, when you zoom in, you could actually see that these are about the size of a whole city. So even though they're the smallest of the watershed catchments, they're still pretty large. So to answer the question of whether you're part of a watershed, yes, we are all part of a watershed.